everyone, welcome back. We will be learning today about how to take our controller values and combine them in a way that gives us the motor speeds that we need. Before we can do that part though, we need to just figure out what the values give us. We're going to use the y-axis data, which is that forward reverse data, to control the overall speed of the robot. So when when we push it all the way forward, we want the robot to go as fast as possible, or the hovercraft I should say. And when we go pull it backwards, we want it to go backwards faster and faster and faster. And then we're going to use the X value data, so the sideways position of the joystick, to control how much turn. And those two things are independent. You could have like fast forward with fast turn, or fast forward slow turn, or slow forward fast turn. Any of those things should work depending on how far left and right you go on the x-axis and how far forward and back you go on the y-axis. All right, so that's going to take a little bit of effort. Before we get there, let's just go through real quick and talk about what these values are on the controller. The first problem we run into is how the controller sends data to Arduino. So in the center position, in the no motor spinning off position, the X and Y axis sends a signal of 512, halfway through its range of 0 to 1023. If we push it forward on the Y axis, the value goes from 512 to 1023. If we let go, it goes back to 512. If we go the other direction down or backwards on the joystick, it goes from 512 to 0. Now, that's all fine unless you're trying to combine data together. The problem with this is that when it's sitting in the middle, we want the motors, obviously everything to be off, but all the values from the controllers are all 512. So if you combine 512 and 512, you take two off commands, which is like off turn and off speed, you should get off motor. But if you take 512 and 512 and combine those, you get 1024, which is like full blast speed. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. So first thing we need to do is remap our values from the that we're getting from the Arduino. Instead of being 0 to 1023, we're going to remap them so that they're -100 when you pull back, and +100 when you go forward, and 0 in the middle. Same thing for the x-axis, -100 to the left, +100 to the right, and 0 in the middle. That way when we add 0 plus 0, we get 0, which means the robot's motors will stay off. That was a lot for that. We'll do the mapping in the code later, but for now we'll start talking instead of what the joystick actually gives us, which is 512 in the middle and 1023 at the top and 0 at the bottom. We're going to be talking about it in terms of positive and -100 values, and that's going to make the math a lot easier. All right, so now let's get to it. Find this page in your notebook, open it up, and let's fill it in. So here, when I push straight forward this way, the y-axis value is going to be +100. The x-axis, because I'm not going left or right at all, is going to be 0. So it's right in the middle. Let's skip down and do the four main ones first, and we'll come back and fill in these other ones. So here, if I go straight to the right, I don't go up or down at all, the y-axis will be 0. And the x-axis is going to be that +100. Okay, and then down on this bottom one, if we just go pull straight back, we get -100 for the y, and because we didn't go left or right at all, we get 0 for the x. Awesome. And now on this one, let's go on the far left one first. Here we're going straight to the left, no up or down, so 0 for the y, no up or down, and -100 for the left and right. All right, let's do a little bit of the harder ones. So here on number 2, I'm going to the right sum and up sum. So that's going to have a positive x and a positive y. The exact value doesn't really matter. It ends up being something like 70% for each one of them. If you want to put 50 here and 50 here, that's okay too. They're going to be the same just in that diagonal. It ends up being this weird 70 number. All right. Now on this one, we're going to be to the right on X and down on Y. So we're to the right and down. And to the down on Y is a negative. Again, it's this weird 70 number. And to the right on X, it is a positive 70. And maybe I go back here and put positives here just to be really explicit. All right, in this quadrant here, I'm to the left, which is negative on X, and down, which is also negative on Y, and it's that in-between number of 70 again. Ish. Okay, now this one, I'm to the left and up. So left is negative X and up is positive Y. So here I'm at a positive 70 and here I'm at a negative 70. Awesome. And that should be the values. So this will give us some numbers to work with. So these are representative numbers of what we get from our controller now when we go in all these different directions. We've got to find a way to combine the Y and X axis values so that we get those motor speeds that we need from the previous slide. And we'll do that in the next video. Good job.